Get ready for a frosty adventure. In Clankiska Leo and the Swift Swallow. A young man makes a big mistake when he trusts a tiny bird, leading to a chilly surprise and a valuable lesson about waiting.
Once upon a time, in a bustling town there lived a young man named Leo who loved to make his friends happy. He had a big smile, wavy brown hair, and kind blue eyes, and he always wore the finest red velvet doublet. Leo spent his money freely, hosting grand feasts and buying gifts for everyone around him. His friends, jolly young men with cheerful faces, loved his generosity and laughter. They would gather in lively taverns, clinking cups and sharing stories. Everyone knew Leo as a truly wonderful friend, full of joyful spirits. As spring arrived with its fresh foliages, green leaves, Leo's golden coins began to dwindle. He hadn't kept track of his spending, wanting only to see smiles on his friends' faces. Day after day, his purse grew lighter and lighter. Soon the grand feasts turned into simpler meals, and the gifts became fewer. One sunny morning, he woke up with a heavy heart, realizing his once overflowing fortune was completely gone. All he had left was the beautiful red velvet doublet, white ruffled shirt, and dark breeches he was wearing. Leo was supposed to meet his jolly young friends that very morning, and panic filled his chest. How could he face them with no money to spend? He felt a knot in his stomach, wondering how to keep up the cheerful front everyone expected. He paced his room, his brow furrowed in worry. His reputation as a generous friend was everything to him, but now he had nothing left to give. He desperately needed a plan, and quickly, before his friends arrived. Just as despair began to settle in, a flash of blue and brown zipped past his window. It was a tiny swallow, a small, nimble bird with glossy blue-black feathers on its back, a reddish-brown throat, and a white belly. The bird landed on a branch nearby, trilling a happy song, its long forked tail twitching merrily. "Chirp! Chirp!" went the little bird, announcing the hopeful arrival of spring. Its cheerful song brought a moment of peace to Leo's troubled mind. Seeing the little swallow, Leo's eyes widened with a sudden, joyful thought. "The swallow is here!" he exclaimed to himself, a spark of hope igniting in his heart. "Summer must be right around the corner." In his mind, summer meant warmth, carefree days, and no need for heavy, expensive clothes. He imagined warm breezes and endless playtime outdoors. This swift little bird, usually a sign of sustained warm weather, gave him a foolish idea. A desperate plan formed in Leo's mind, born of his urgent need for money and his mistaken belief. If summer is truly here, he reasoned, I won't need these fine clothes much longer. He swiftly decided to sell his expensive red velvet doublet, his white ruffled shirt, and even his dark breeches. He thought he could live lightly until the real summer arrived. This sudden hope blinded him to common sense and the unpredictable nature of spring weather. With a bundle under his arm, Leo hurried through the bustling town streets until he reached a small, cluttered shop. Inside, surrounded by racks of old garments, stood a stout, middle-aged man with a neat gray beard and spectacles perched on his nose, the clothes dealer. The dealer, slightly shorter and wider than Leo, peered at Leo with shrewd eyes. He was always ready for a good bargain, and Leo's urgent manner was not lost on him. Leo explained his situation to the dealer, carefully omitting his misguided belief about summer. He just said he needed quick cash. The dealer, with a knowing look, examined Leo's beautiful red velvet doublet and other garments. He offered a much lower price than they were worth, seeing Leo's desperation. Leo, feeling he had no choice, reluctantly agreed, accepting the meager coins for his once treasured possessions. He walked out of the shop with only a simple, pale blue tunic covering him. A few days passed, and the initial spring warmth quickly vanished. Suddenly, dark clouds gathered in the sky, and a chilling wind began to blow. The air grew colder and colder, much to everyone's surprise. Brrrr! Went the wind, whistling through the streets. A severe frost descended upon the town, covering everything in a delicate, icy sheen. Snowflakes, tiny and sharp, began to dance in the air, transforming the landscape into a wintry wonderland once more. Up in its nest, the tiny swallow, with its glossy blue-black feathers, a reddish-brown throat, and a white belly, shivered uncontrollably. Its small body was not built for such an unexpected frost after thinking summer had arrived. Its cheerful chirps had turned into weak, sad little trembles. Its long, forked tail was tucked in tightly, trying to find warmth, but the cold crept into every bit of its being. The poor bird truly struggled to keep warm. Meanwhile, Leo, the tall, slender young man with wavy brown hair and kind blue eyes, found himself in a terrible plight. Dressed only in his light, pale blue tunic, with his arms and knees completely bare to the icy wind, he was freezing. His teeth chattered loudly, and his skin turned a shade of blue from the intense cold. He hugged himself tightly, trying to create some warmth, but the effort was useless against the bitter chill. Every breath was a frosty cloud. Leo looked up at the sky, his heart sinking further. He saw the tiny, shivering swallow, with its glossy blue-black feathers, a reddish-brown throat, and a white belly, struggling to fly in the icy air. A pang of understanding hit him. Both he and the little bird had been fooled by the early arrival of spring, thinking warmth was here to stay. They both faced the harsh reality of winter's unexpected return. Their shared misfortune made Leo feel even more foolish for his haste. Leo couldn't help but think about his rash decision. He had let his fear of looking poor make him act without thinking. "Oh dear," he whispered to himself, his voice trembling. "I was too quick. I should have waited and been patient." The little bird's plight, caused by the same mistake, made the lesson even clearer. He realized that a moment of impulsive hope could lead to days of regret and discomfort. He wished he could turn back time and act more wisely. And so, Leo learned that day that it's always best to be patient and wise, rather than rushing into decisions based on a single early sign. Don't be fooled by the first glimpse of something new, like an early swallow, into thinking everything has changed for good. Take your time, think things through, and act with care, and you'll avoid many troubles. Wisdom comes from waiting, observing, and understanding the full picture before you make big choices, not from hasty guesses.
Ever dreamed of being the hero? Now you get to be the star. Your adventure starts at TalesMio. Visit talesmio.com now.